due to my personal nature and my interest, I could not stick to the job for a longer time and I switched to practice.
If you are working for 9 to 5 and you are giving a perfect time to the organization, why can't we work for ourselves?
My dad was really very reluctant that you are already in a very good position.
All right.
And you are doing good. Your career growth is also good. So why do you want to leave?
Cash was going out but not coming.
Yeah, I just wanted to start my own firm in my own city.
Firstly, she is a girl. Will she be able to handle our tax-related issues? Right. Number one. That does not mean that there is no scope in the banks, but
Right.
and banks are not for chartered accountants. My first client was actually Sunrise Bank Limited itself.
After 6 months, I have got my first client, and I was like very happy at that time.
You knew that you were going somewhere, even if you were crawling, you were not stopping.
As we become a team, everyone is equal and everyone is supporting each other. The male members, the female members, they come into a same pace.
Hello viewers, thank you for tuning in to the 6th episode of the Offshore Accountant Podcast. In the Offshore Accountant Podcast, we try to bring in trends surrounding the accounting industry practices, technology, and ways to increase profitability and efficiency of accounting firms. Today, here with me, I have not one but 3 guests, 3 incredible women who have their own practices, who are their own bosses. I'd like to introduce you to CA Sweety Agrawal, CA Sanjeeta, Nepal, and CA Asha Mahato. The reason for me inviting you here today is I consider myself a father of 3 girls. I have 1 daughter of my own and 2 who are my nieces, and I'm the guardian of them. So I always try to find, role models for them, right? When they grow up, they want to become something. And when they look at people who are females doing great things in their lives, I think that would be a greater education for them than going into schools and learning about people in the books, right? So if we can see other people of, the same gender doing incredible things, I think they'll have some things to think about, some destinations to reach to. So thank you everyone for being here today. And, I'd like to first start, with the journey, because all of you are chartered accountants and all of you run your own firms. And so I'd like to start from where the journey began. Every one of you studied for your certification, but I'd like to, start from that period, from where you started your certification and when your career started. So, Sweety, I would like to start from you. When did you do your certification and what your career looked like after that?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to thank Sushilji for inviting me here. At the beginning, I would like to say that I started my career, my CA journey. After grade 12, I thought of choosing some profession. Actually, I wanted to become a doctor.
Yeah.
But that time, the financial position of my father was not so strong and he told me that he couldn't afford my studies. So I wanted to do something which takes 4 to 5 years of time and gives me a professional degree. So I chose CA that time. But in Nepal, in Kathmandu, the scope for CA studies was very limited. There was no classes and no study material. So I thought to go to India, and then I started my studies there, took some coaching classes, and after completing my studies, in 2008 November, I came back to Kathmandu. I cleared all my exams in first attempt. And then I came back to Kathmandu in 2009 August after completing my articleship. After that, I started my banking career in 2009. And then from there, my journey of my career started. And
so how long were you in the bank, or what was the name of the bank, or were you do your banking career in different banks, or was the career stretched over a period of time in a single bank?
Stick to a single bank. I worked in Sunrise Bank Limited from 2009 November to February 2014. During that tenure, I had led finance department, acted there as head of finance department. And then for some period, I also acted as a head of team leader of central accounts and treasury bag department. So it was a learning experience because I always believe that acting as a team always gives you good benefit than as a single leader.
So this is the time, before you ever decided to become, own your own practice, right? So you did, you said 4 years of...
4.5 years.
4.5 years of banking. So this is the period before you became an entrepreneur, if I may say so. So what was your career like before sort of running your own practice, becoming your own boss?
Thank you, Sushilji, for inviting us to the offshore accountant. Like Sweety said, I also joined Chartered Accountants in 2011.
Right.
I completed my studies from Delhi. I did my final articleship, everything from Delhi. And as I came back to Nepal, I always wanted to start my own practice. As I came back to Nepal, I was always very clear about starting my own practice. But as a beginner and as a student of ICI, it was not practical for me to start from the very first day I entered Nepal. So after coming from Delhi, I joined in a firm as a semi-qualified. I worked there for 1 year. And after working there, I developed my confidence because I knew and I was a little aware about how the things work in Nepal, how to deal with the clients, taxation, VAT and every other things which we did not know while working in India. There is no as such difference in India and Nepal, but we must work for a couple of years to know about how things work in Nepal because, the way we deal with the client, it cannot be same as we deal in India or any other country. So after working there for 1 year as a semi-qualified, I cleared my chartered accountancy in 2017. At the time, we needed to do 1 year articleship, internship to become member of ICANN. So I decided to join a bank because why not to take the exposure of bank and corporate as well. So I joined Global IME Bank as an intern, I must say, for my internship. And I worked there for a couple of years. That was my journey before I started my own practice.
Both of you were, in banking sector before you started your career. What was the journey like you, Asha, from your certification to, just before you established your firm?
Thank you, Sushilji, for inviting us here. After completion of my 12 examination, one of my brother went to Delhi for CA study. He just motivated me for the CA, and then I went Delhi for CA education. After that, I completed my CA in November 2017. After completing my CA, I came back to Nepal after 2 years. I worked there in a firm where I was already working as an internship. After coming back to Nepal, I never thought that I will go for practicing or anything else. I was very prepared for a banking career or having a job here. And so after that, I joined Manager Bank as an internship. And that time, there was an internship opportunity for us. And I joined Manager Bank. Then I have worked there for 1 year. After that, I changed my company. I changed my job, and I worked for one of the leading construction company in Nepal. I worked there for 2 years. After that, I went to my hometown, and then I decided to have my own firm.
Up till that point in time, right? So it was a different point in time for every one of you, but the edge that you were standing on was the same, right? You were standing before an opportunity that you thought maybe will take you to the next level. Or was it that you were standing before an abyss, looking down and seeing dark there, but still wanting to plunge to find maybe there's gold there? So everyone, in that point of time, every one of you were determined that you wanted to start a firm. Everyone has a reason of why they want to start a firm, right? Maybe someone doesn't like to be an employee, or someone might think that I could do a better job than my employer. What was the reason that you thought you should start your own firm? Let me go back to a citizen.
Actually, I was in a very good position while I was in a bank. I was there working as an assistant manager, and that was the third year, and it was the year of my promotion when I decided to leave the bank. The main reason is that I thought, what is the growth getting while working in the bank? Am I able actually to apply my knowledge? We CAs are actually trained to become auditors and accountants, let's say. So I didn't feel the zeal, inside me, or the enthusiasm to go on doing the same work. Number one, I thought personally for me, it became monotonous. I wanted something, that boosted me to keep learning. That is the main reason I decided to start my own practicing firm. And I think I did the best decision.
When I was told about CA, everything I was told was, when you do a sign, you will get 1 lakh.
Right.
Or you will be doing audits. You will be, you will be having clients of your own. I was never taught that you can also do job, or CAs are doing this and that. So, and during 3 years of articleship, or every time, most of the time, IC was my boss, who was a chartered accountant and doing practice, and he was leading so many chartered accountants. He was inspiring us. So I always wanted to, have my own practice. Coincidentally, I got to join bank just for my internship. So after a few years, after 1 year, I already started feeling that I was here to practice. Why I am in the bank, why I am doing audits and all this. So that one thing why I started chartered accountants was I want to do my own practice. And also additionally, because of my nature, I cannot stay in the same place, from 9 a.m., 9:30 to 5 p.m. Even you have some work or you don't have work, you have to be there. My nature does not allow me, because I have to keep meeting people. I have to be associated somewhere. Like you have seen me active in ACAN also from few years. So due to my personal nature and my interest, I could not stick to the job for a longer time, and I switched to practice.
So the earliest memory of you, getting the knowledge of a chartered accountant, what a chartered accountant does is he's a master, he's a boss, right?
Yes.
So he signs reports, he gets paid,
Yes.
he leads a team.
Yes.
So that was your impression of a chartered accountant, and that's what attracted you to that profession. But when you got into the profession, you were for a brief period of time pulled by the banks. Like so many chartered accountants are, sucked by banks. You were also sucked by that, but you realized why you started what you started.
But I want to add one thing. That does not mean that there is no scope in the banks, but
Right.
and banks are not for chartered accountants. There are chartered accountants in the banks who are doing extremely great, but that depends upon nature of an individual. Right. If my aim was to become CEO of a bank, I would have definitely worked hard in the bank. Right. But my aim was never to become a CEO or to be working for somebody else. I always wanted to work for myself. And one funny thing, I wanted to work for myself because there will be some leisure time if you work for yourself, and you can brainstorm for other things as well. Doing practice doesn't mean you will just be sticking to your clients, you will just be sticking to your practices. Doing practice also gives you freedom of thinking about business ideas, of being involved in some other areas. So that depends upon the nature. I am not blaming that nobody should go into jobs.
Correct.
Jobs are also giving very better opportunities to chartered accountants. That was my personal decision and my personal nature that didn't allow me to stick in the bank for a longer time.
A book by Simon Sinek where he says, start with your why. So why, when you are doing something, you have to be clear of why you want to do it. Right? So there must be a why as to why you started your own practice, why you wanted to run a practice.
During my banking career, I was so monotonous with this 9 to 5 job. Actually, that was the main reason behind leaving the job and starting my career of practicing. At that time, I was feeling like there is no opportunity. I'm captured in a place. I was feeling like that. If you are working for 9 to 5 and you are giving a perfect time to the organization, why can't we work for ourselves? Right. And that was the main reason that gives me a moment that I recognize that I'm not meant for a job.
I was working also, but at that time I was like, I'm over with the job. I should leave or I should start my own. At that time, I took my decision and then I started my own.
Okay, so all of you now are all right. Now everything's whatever I've been doing up till now. Okay, it's finished. Now I'll do my own thing. So you decided that, and what was the next thing that you did when you were clear that you wanted to run your practice? What was your first step?
I made the mindset first, and then I informed my dad. I was married, just married for 2 to 3 years. And then I told my father that I want to leave the banking industry and go for practice and start something of my own. But my dad was really, really very reluctant that you are already in a very good position.
All right.
And you are doing good. Your career growth is also good. So why do you want to leave? I took the decision and then left it. I registered my firm immediately after leaving the bank. Actually, the banking job was monotonous for me. But like Sanjeeta said, there is a lot of opportunities for those who are working in the bank as well. And they have reached the topmost position. When we see today's banking industry, most of the CEOs and topmost position holders are CAs. So they are doing really, really great. But it is a personal choice, actually, that you want to go in the industry as a service holder or you want to be in practice. So I took a shift and then chose to do practice. I registered the firm. Firstly, it was really, really very difficult because the management of cash flow was really difficult for starting 2 years.
Right. So cash was going out but not coming.
Yeah, it was because we have a fixed cost to bear, but the enthusiasm and the way we think that from day one we are going to get client, that is not possible.
Okay.
So it was difficult for 2 years for me to sustain, and then slowly things became better, from good to better.
Right.
And then now it's actually I'm in a good pace. I must say that.
Yeah. So you have reached a period where you are doing good and you are growing every year. Right.
Yes.
At the time, I had to first inform my boss because I was working in a bank. We had to give some notice period. So I informed my boss. He was also chartered accountant and he always supported me. He was very happy with my decision. He never pushed me that, no, you must stay in the bank, you must work for us. He and along with my team who were there with me in bank, Global IMA Bank, they were very happy with my decision. They encouraged me. That was in the work front, and in my home, I was living with my parents. I just had to inform them that I don't want to continue the banking sector, so I am switching to job. So basically that my parents, they were okay with whatever I was doing, so I just informed them and they were happy with it. But as Sweety said, there is the problem of cash flow in the first years. But as I was living with my parents and the money I was earning from bank was just being saved, so I took the risk of, setting up offices and bearing the fixed cost because I had few backups. And that way the journey started.
Of owning a firm was greater than the loss of cash flows, right, for everyone of you, because the bigger the dream, that dream it drives you forward because you have a clear vision that someday I'll be there. What was your own journey when you started on your dream of becoming a practice owner?
Actually, when I was prepared to start my own firm, and have a consulting firm, I told my father that I wanted to leave the job and I just wanted to start my own. He was totally shocked with my decision. It's a very difficult decision. I mean, my father told me, if you want to start, let's start. It's your transition time.
Right.
Take your decision. We will always support you, but wisely choose it. He just told me this. And then I told my father that I want to start my consulting firm within my own city.
Right.
not to go over the Kathmandu or the main city. I just wanted to start my own firm in my own city. And he just told me, okay, we are living alone. You can come here to support us. And that was the phase my family told me. And then I just decided to let's go and stay in my own local place and then start it. And let's try, give it one try. I can be able to succeed or not. Let's try. Let's be in a market. I was prepared for that. And then I started.
So for the viewers who do not know, Kathmandu is the capital of Nepal, where most of the big businesses are. But Nepal is not just Kathmandu; it is made up of 77 districts and divided into 3 geographical zones. And Asha is from Tarai and specifically from Janakpur, and so decided because for majority of people, chartered accountants who want to start their practice, their home town is not the first preference, because most of the opportunities are here, or our perception is that most of the opportunities lie here, and they do not think about their own hometown, but try to move into Kathmandu and establish their firms. But you chose to be in your own city and start your own practice there. So that is the first. I think I can say that. What I have heard up till now is that you decided that you wanted to start your own firm. For the two of you, what I hear is that for Sanjeeta, there was a smooth sailing from there. Smooth sailing, not in the terms of business, but that your decision was accepted by everyone. For Asha, it came as a shock to your parents, but they were quite motivating. They were quite supportive of your decision. But for Sweety, I heard that the decision to start your own practice was your decision for yourself only. Your family was not behind your decision, but you started it anyways because you wanted to start your own practice, your own boss.
Yes. It was not actually supportive. I belong to a business background, but then too I did not get any support, clientele-based support from my family at the initial stage, because they had that threat, they had that thinking that if firstly she is a girl, will she be able to handle our tax-related issues, number one. And then secondly, they were not sure that she'll be able to, look after all our financial statements and all. Though we cannot, there is a issue of independence and we are not allowed to sign, but we can do advisory services and we can look into the core, business issues. But even that time they were not, happy, maybe because of my decision, and the transaction and the files were looked upon by other auditors. So they were actually thinking of the risk that our internal information might be linked if we shift the files, from one auditor to another. But after a period of time, after certain time, when they gain the confidence that yes, she is doing good with other clients, which she, got on her own confidence. So then they gained the confidence, and then they assured me that now you can look after our business transactions. And then after that only it's been I think 4 to 5 years now that I have been looking after the transactions of my own family.
You come from a business family where there are multiple businesses, but when you started your own practice, they were not sure that either you couldn't handle it, or maybe you'll leave your practice and come back to service, and so they didn't want to give business or advisory business to you for just a certain period of time, or were they so against your decision of having your own practice? Because still, though we have come so far in terms of the culture, the patriarchy, we still feel that a woman may not be a business now, right? Cannot be her own boss, cannot operate a company by herself. So the thing that maybe because of the upbringing of our own society, that there was a certain pushback from not just the society but your own family when you decided to work for yourself. So when we're talking about starting a firm, like if Sanjeeta ji or Asha ji starts a firm, I do not know what went there, but I am just imagining. The first thing when we start a business is first go to your family, go to your relatives and say, if you have some work for me, I can do it for you. I'll do a better job. Because I'm your relative, I'll also give you a certain discount. Right? But that is the first expectation. And then after you have gained some work from your relatives, then you move to other areas. But that was not the case for you. So how did you start your business? When did you get your first client? And what was the work that you did there?
My first client was actually Sunrise Bank Limited itself. Okay. So I did a right issue projection report for Sunrise Bank Limited.
Yeah.
My banking background actually helped me to gain some work and clients because auditing is all about, getting work from references and contacts.
Right.
So it is not very easy. Extracting the client from the existing auditors is really a difficult task. But we need to make them feel that yes, if you are changing the auditor, then you are changing it for good, for the betterment of the business, for transparency, and for confidentiality, and which will help in maintaining the ethical standards as well.
Firms in Nepal are not allowed to market their services. All right. So there's no advertisement. There's no going and soliciting work from others. Though it is allowed in US and Australia, it's still not allowed in Nepal. So how did you get your first client, and who was your first client, and what did you do there?
As she said, the banking career and the relations PR we met there helped me get a few clients. But formally, my first client was a factory based in Hetauda. I was assigned for an internal audit, and I am someone who do not trust others easily with the works.
Right.
I have to be there. I have to myself verify the work, and as I was very new into the practice, the excitement was too high. Right. So I went there with my team. We stayed there in the factory for 1 week and completed the assignment. That assignment was also referred to me by my ex-boss. So I'm very grateful to him for providing me my first assignment.
Right. And what was it like for Asha ji? Who was your first client, and what was the first assignment?
My previous job just gave me a very good experience about the construction companies, and I was working there for around 1.5 years. And that gives me a very good confidence for a construction company. That was the main reason I started doing my own. Yeah. I got the first client of a construction company only. Okay. And that was very good for me actually, because I was I gained experience in banking, and then after I joined a construction company as a finance manager. Right. At that time I was like, let's see what is going for me, or what can work on me.
What was the journey from first to second to third to 10th or 100th, right? Did you get an assignment right after you started your practice, or how long did you have to wait for your first client? Maybe I'll start here.
After 6 months, I have got my first client, and I was like very happy at that time. Right. Because after 6 months, I'm getting a first client. I just left my job and I'm working here without a client. It was very like a transition time where you have to stay calm, you have to stay focused and work on yourself at that time, because that's a period of time where you have to take a decision, and like you will regret on yourself. Have you chosen your path? It's wrong or right at that time. But after getting my first client, I was very happy. And at that time, I was like, okay, I can do it now. At that point, I was like, okay, I will do it now.
Okay, so it was 6 months until you got your first client. So after you started your firm and before getting your first client, were you involved in some place working, or there was because your first client was 6 months in, you were there was no inflow, as you said earlier?
Actually, I started my firm during COVID time.
Right.
So I was in my home only. At that time, we can't go anywhere. So I was like, okay, stay in home. Otherwise, we'll. And after some time, I have got like clients, and then I was like, okay, staying in home is also beneficial. And then
What was it like for you? Was it immediate, your first client, or was there that length of time for you?
No, as I started, I did not go to do, high profile job in the very beginning. So I had to stick with consulting to some SMEs, consulting to my own relatives' companies. I was not vacant, but I got my assignment, as I told you earlier, within 1 to 2 months.
Right.
So it was basically a transition of 1 to 2 months. In between, I was involved in giving consulting and doing other business-related assignments of my own relatives.
So for Sweety also, was it the same case, or you're working right at the get-go when you started your firm?
It took 3 to 4 months to get the first assignment, and I was totally vacant
Right.
before that.
Okay, so you're not doing any work outside of your firm, and your firm was also not earning money for you.
Yes.
And even if the firm earns money for you, for a certain period of time, it is not enough. It is not enough to cover your expenses, let alone give you some profit. Or for how long was it the case, and how did you survive?
Break-even point, it took 2 years for me.
Right.
Because I did not have that strong client base initially. I was putting my money, the hard-earned money from the banking sector into my firm. And after some period of time, I think I also took my husband's salary to bear the fixed cost, or maybe after 2 to 3 months of 2 years, I started having my, stable income through consultancy, a regular consultancy, which also motivated me to keep going, that it is a phase of time and it will go out, and obviously good days will come. And that motivated me, and obviously thereafter.
So Sweety dipped into our savings from
Yes.
our year's jobs, and then it evaporated pretty fast.
Yes.
Now, when you reach into your the pockets of your husband, for 2 years you struggled because the money that was coming in was not enough to cover your costs.
Expenses.
Yeah. Sanjeeta ji, where did you get the money from? Did you also reach into your savings, or how was it for you?
Like she said in the beginning stage, it's very difficult, but one benefit of doing practice or being in service is that you can work anytime.
Right.
You can work at 11 p.m. You can just do one projection report by yourself. You have the power to reduce your staff cost as much as possible in the beginning, because you can handle everything. It's just that you have to work hard. So I used to reduce my staff cost, and I used to work myself on the things. And additionally, during the COVID period, share market was booming everywhere. It was, everyone was talking about share market. They were talking about IPOs. So my interest also started into share market during COVID time. So I was having my part-time income from that side as well. And I was also engaged in teaching. I used to teach in the morning, so those were the areas where I used to get money for my firm.
Right. So you're supplementing yourself with the work from outside of your firm, unrelated work, and also you didn't get yourself too many employees. And you started your firm because you did not want to become an employee of anyone, but you ended up
Becoming my own
yeah,
employee.
employee, and for a certain period of time, not just an employee but a slave,
Yes.
because you have to do everything by yourself. What was the condition for you? Because for 6 months you were out of work. Your name was written there. It said chartered accountants, but no one was knocking the door and coming in. So how did you supplement yourself? How did you survive in that period?
During that period of time, I have reduced my all of the fixed costs. I started my firm from my own home. I started it from in my own home, and then I didn't have that staff. I didn't get that. I was working for myself, and I was giving full time for myself only.
Right.
That was the main reason I didn't have that. What the actual cost was there, it was totally saving for me. At that point of time, I was like, let's see whether I can survive or not. It was a very decision was always of mine, and then family was supporting me at that time, but they were also not sure how you are living your job and starting your own firm. You didn't have got your client for 6 months, and then suddenly you are telling, let's go, and I will do it.
Right.
That was a very difficult time, but after 6 months, when I got that one boosting point where I was like, okay, I can handle it and I can do it.
Right.
At that point of time, I was like, okay, I can handle it.
This is also something that I've felt myself, because sometimes it's all about milestones that paves your way, or your path is the right path. You are going in the right direction. Maybe your pocket may still be empty, but that milestone gives you a certain boost, a certain vindication that what you have started, if you can continue, you'll reach where you see you reaching there. So that gives a different kind of passion for you to work, even though you are penniless, you slave for hours. You thought that 9 to 5 was too much of monotony, too much of hard work, but now you work from 7 a.m. in the morning to 12 in the night. And also when you are doing all this, sometimes it gets lonely, doesn't it? Because you are doing everything by yourself. Even if you can do it, you might need to at least have a team, or maybe may need to hire someone just to get a little work off your plate, a little pressure off you, so that you can, because you are an owner, you do not just think about the work, you are thinking about bringing other works, expanding your business. So when did you feel that you cannot go solo? You need to hire someone. And did you hire someone? Who did you hire, and why did you hire them? And maybe let's start with Sweety.
From my initial days of articleship, I'd always seen the senior chartered accountants having, a team of article assistants,
Right.
and then other semi-qualified and qualified CAs. So I also came from a banking industry, always had a team of people working together. So I always dreamt of having, a good office, and then a team size, a certain size of people from my initial days only. So that is why maybe I ran out of my, all the saving.
Okay.
From the starting day of my, practicing journey, I had hired some people, accounting technician and article trainees under my name and under my firm. So I always believe that team size matters, and if you want to grab some work, and then team size will really play a vital role in that, because if suddenly someone assigns you some work, then you need to have a team to work for you until obviously you are going to give your full time for that assignment, but you need to have a team and who represents you, who are always there with you. So
I got two different views from two different sides, right? Asha started with only herself in her own house, and you started with a team. Because we cannot say one approach is better than the others, because all approaches tend to be, fashioned on the vision of their owners. So on the two fringes, there is she started her work without an employee. She was the owner, operator, everything, and she started with a team, not just one but a few, right? And what about Sanjeeta ji? Were you in between, like you are sitting right here, or what was your approach there?
Yes, I was exactly in between.
Right.
I did not start it alone. I had few people, but as we were new firms, bringing in articles was very tough and is still tough because being a chartered accountant, you just don't want to have article come there, get registered and have no better opportunities because they are not just articles, they are the students, they are looking for exposure. So I did not have articles for a few years. I used to work with semi-qualified chartered accountants, few chartered accountants, and also the accountants who have previously worked somewhere. So my team was basically from every sectors, excluding article trainees, because I did not want to bring in the students without myself having good clients. So I was in between.
3 different ladies, 3 different approaches to work, and no, that's very good thing actually, because when we are same, we are also different. Even if we are same, we are also different, and that is what makes people or things beautiful. Because if I was the same as you, or every one of us were the same homogeneous, then there would be no art in life, right? So that is quite good to hear. So you started your practice, you slogged on for a couple of years without much to show to the others, to the outside world, your relatives, your family, even to yourself in terms of money. But you knew that you were going somewhere, even if you were crawling, you were not stopping. What was that point of time where you thought, yes, now I can survive, I have made it. Not just I've been too successful, but I have made it that I can pay my stuff, I can pay myself, and maybe I can also save some. When was that? When did you figure out that you have reached to a certain point?
As I told you earlier, that I got my first assignment after 3 to 4 months, I remember. But in my first year of my practice, I was assigned a job by Office of Auditor General of Nepal, because there were no females at that time into practice. So I was the only female who was fully practicing. So they have a trend of encouraging the female chartered accountants. So they assigned me a work. Generally, there is a tendency that it continues for 3 regular years.
Right.
So that also helped me actually to sustain for some period of time. And after 2 years, yes, because we are chartered accountants and who knows better how to manage our cash flows beyond us. So I was frequently I used to look after my cash flows, and then I got to know that after I think 2 years, 26 months, that I was in a better position now. I am able to bear all my cost, and then now I am saving something for myself.
Right.
Because there was a regular flow of clients, and rather than audit, I found consulting and advisory business and the internal audit thing more tempting, more attracting in terms of financial stability, because that was a regular flow of income and source of income. So which led my position to become much more stronger.
So the same question to Sanjeeta ji, when was the time when you didn't have to rely on earnings from the share market to say that I'm earning, I'm living a decent life, and that life I'm living by my own profits or from cash from my business?
So maybe it was during the end of first year itself. I was not earning so much, but I was at least earning to pay for my office cost and to at least come at the point where I did not regret for leaving the job, because I was earning and I was in the same financial position as I was working in the bank, or as I would have been engaged in some other corporate. So Yes, it took me a year.
Yeah. And what was it for you? When did you become cash positive?
Took me a year only. After a year, I was the cash flow was positive.
So a year after starting your firm, or a year after
Even
getting your
after
first client?
Year after starting my own firm.
Okay. So you have started your firms. You have slogged through. You have gone through all your savings, and now there's no need for you to get into your saving, but you can now get some money and now put into that savings or that pot that you have set aside for your future. Now we move into better position, growth. That was survival. Now it's growth. So how did your firm, or how did you grow from there? Let's start with Asha this time.
During that phase of time, I realized that there are lots of difficulties that we are going to face, and we are facing it.
Right.
At that time, I felt like it's up to you how you are facing it. And I was continuously moving towards like I can do it. It was like manifesting myself that I am able to do. And at that point of time, we were like everyone was. There was a bit difficult for me to go in a market where it's a totally ruled by chartered accountants, already ruled by a male chartered accountants. There was no female at that market. And I have to just penetrate in a market and just have to establish myself and show myself. There was a point where everyone was like, she's a girl, how can we trust her? And there is a point, and we can't deny it. She's a girl, how can we trust that? And there was also a point, she's unmarried, how can she handle it? If she get married, she will go from here. How will she handle it? That was a very good question that I was getting from my own relatives, my own client. After 2 years of time, they were like, no, she will stay here, and now I can believe them. And they gradually start believing on myself, and after a certain period of time, I was, I think after 2 years, like they were like, now we can trust her, and we can give to her the work, whatever is for her. And then at that point of time, I was like moving towards now I have the thing that I'm getting.
All right. You talked about because you're a female, there's a certain hesitation from businesses, from people to, directly trust you. If there was a man in the same place, maybe, he would have gotten work faster, been trusted readily. But as you are a girl, and there might be a hesitation. Sanjeeta, did you feel that there was a certain hesitation because of your gender, that it took some time to prove yourself first before someone could say that, yes, she can do, even though she is a chartered accountant, now because she's still here after 2 years working, and now I can trust even... I'm sorry to say, but I didn't want to use that word, but even though she's a girl. So was that, did you feel that way?
Yes, like Asha ji said, there is always the question that she's a girl, how can we trust her? It's not, I'm not blaming CA fraternity, or I'm not blaming the clients, because that is how we were raised, by showing the difference between the genders and making female gender little, weak or sensitive, and they can't handle everything. We were taught in that way, so our society has been raised that way. So in this generation, I would like to call ourselves sandwich generation.
Right.
Because our mother, our grandmothers, they have seen so much sorrows. They have, they have not seen the happiness, and for them that was the life. From their generation, we have seen everything. We have studied hard. We have gone out of the country. We have lived by ourselves, and we have seen the generations below us who are moving far ahead of us. So we are in between. We have to match with the expectations of our older generation, and also we have to be at par with the new generation. So in this sandwich generation, definitely being a girl, it was difficult. But as I believe, as you get knowledge always gives you confidence, knowledge and experience. So in the beginning, I might be little hesitant to even ask for the clients with my own relatives, or even ask, even bid for some, audits or something. But as we keep growing, as we keep gaining the experience, I think it was not difficult after that. Having said that, being a female in a practice or being a female in any business, it is little bit difficult, but I believe that the situation is gradually changing.
Right. Because you started way before Ashaji or Sanjeeta, you might have a different experience, because a couple of years the world has been rapidly changing. We have become a global village now, but back in your time, so I do not want to make it too old, right? Back in your time, information technology has changed so rapidly that a year feels like a month, right? So that is why I'm talking about, because you started your practice way before these women. What was your experience with respect to gender? Was gender a factor in getting clients, being recognized as a qualified, even though you had all the certifications, you did all the work, by accepting as qualified by the community? Did you feel something like that?
Back then, it was really difficult for female chartered accountants to lead on their own.
Yeah.
Whenever I used to go somewhere to meet some clients, they always used to ask me, "Do you have any partners?
Right.
Are you really running a sole proprietorship firm? Will you be able to handle our tax assignments?"
Right.
So they were really, really hesitant, to give the assignment or the work to us, to me. But now the time has changed. Gradually, the confidence in the clients also have become, better. They have gained the knowledge that gender doesn't matter, I think, for me, practically. When you gain the faith and trust of the client, so they generally don't tend to change their auditors. So when they are, sure that no, she is capable, she can handle all our business, and she can give you, advices. They don't actually now, because I can assure you that, because I am working with my clients since 8 to 9 years now, and they have not changed the auditor. So that's why, because they have gained the trust in me that no, gender does not matter in the work, only the capability, the way she delivers, the way she is confident, and the auditor's assignment job is to keep the matters confidential, of the clients. So that is the main thing they trust into. It took time, I must say, to change the mindset of my own clients, but gradually now it has increased and improved for betterment.
Right. So I would say that you were one of the pioneers, because back then there were not too many, even still there are not many firms that are run by female chartered accountants. But you showed the courage to, go in the market, compete with men to get clients, and you struggle for it's very evident in the conversation that we are having, because you have to live with negative cash flows for 2 years, but that has shortened for these new ladies, right? You have made a path, and on that path, new members are walking in the same path, and again improving or widening that path, right? So for the other aspirants, female, who have just finished their 10th grade, now thinking about getting into accountancy, or who are already doing their articleship, going to different places and doing their audits, or in your own teams, there are maybe female, trainees or female employees that see you and are thinking that I'll be my own boss, like my boss, right? So that is the journey when a road is being built. First, it is coarse, very small, because you just have to. There are too many clearings to wade through, and then the road gets wide and it gets tarmac, right? So now at least for a moment, we can say that we have come to a good spot, right? Where you have succeeded, you are running successful firms. As a practitioner, you are successful now. As a member of the community, now you are also actively involved in, helping the accounting community, being leaders. So it gives me great pleasure to say that Sanjeeta ji was recently elected as the new General Secretary of the Association of Chartered Accountants of Nepal.
Thank you.
And Sweety ji, you are also on the path, of becoming the first female council member of the regulator of Chartered Accountancy in Nepal, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nepal. This gives a very, paints a very good picture of the future of accounting for female members, for those coming in behind you, right? So that is quite an inspiration. And Sanjeeta ji, you have now recently taken the General Secretary role. And what are your own aspirations for the community as a whole, and also for the female members that are already members of ACAN, and also the female students or female aspirants who will be joining you after a couple of years or a certain period of time? What are your aspirations, and what are you thinking of doing for them?
You know what I always wanted is, whenever a woman or a female come into a leadership position,
Right.
I want a situation where the society does not get shocked.
Right.
Because a male or a counterpart who is also a chartered accountant or who is in the same pace as a female is,
Right.
our society is still in the position where a woman standing for herself, or a woman who is ready to, give time to the profession or give time to in anything she is wanting to do, is a shock to the society, and it is still shock to, professions like us. But I must admit, things are changing, and people are, people of our community, CA communities are also very welcoming. Senior chartered accountants, they were always pushing me, they were always suggesting me that if you have leadership capacity, you must go in front, because, when a junior or a younger chartered accountant see all male members in some organization or in some community, they are little hesitant, because they believe that, oh my god, how will I adjust in between these much male members?
Right.
But as a member of ACAN and as a general secretary now, and as being in the team, and previously also I was a member in ACAN, being in the team, I never felt any less than anyone.
Yeah.
Or I was never made feel that you are lower or you are less than anyone. The process of election is a different part, but as we become a team, everyone is equal and everyone is supporting each other. The male members, the female members, they come into a same pace. So to the younger generation, I wanted to say, or I wanted to suggest that do not listen to anyone, just listen to yourself, because no one is coming to you, and no one knows you better than yourself.
Right.
No one is coming to you and say that, oh my god, you are very capable, you are a chartered accountant, you have to do this, you have to go in this place.
Right.
Because you know where you are meant to go to.
Right.
So you have to take that first step, and as I said, experience, it's always difficult to take the first step.
Right.
I remember when I came back from Delhi, I was someone who was very afraid to even sit in the back seat of bike or scooter. I used to think that, oh my god, how will I even be able to ride a scooty in these busy roads?
Right.
But as I started riding scooty, in the first month it was very difficult for me. But gradually I used to ride it so fast that looking back, I used to be very proud of myself.
Right.
Similarly, when we started riding car for the first time, everyone is looking to you, oh my god, a girl is driving a car. So it's always difficult in the first place, but as the time goes on, as you are experienced, everyone will clap for you and you will set an example for everyone. So I just want to say, listen to yourself and lead yourself to where you want it to be.
Right. So you have to listen to yourself.
Yes.
It will get tougher before it gets
Yes.
better, but it will get better, and there will be success there. Come back to Asha ji, because now doing for the the accounting committee. You were an executive member of the Madhya Pradesh province of the Chartered Accountants Association, or ACAN. That is quite an achievement, and you have been, actively involved in the association. But I also wanted to, celebrate the fact, because it is a bigger achievement than any other. Celebrate the fact that you started your firm in Janakpur, where there were no female practice owners there. You went back from Kathmandu and decided that I will make this place my workplace, right? So that is a thing that should be celebrated more, because being a first, being someone who paves the way, even if someone comes after you with a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour, he or she could do that because you made the road, right? So that is a bigger achievement that I want to celebrate. And now I also want to celebrate another big achievement that Sweety ji is going to get, I'm sure. But before that, as a segue, or as a transition, I wanted to ask Sweety ji, when was ICANN established, and how many female members have there been in the council up till today?
ICANN is actually celebrating 27 years of its completion. Till date, there have not been any nominations from any female members from CA background in the council, and my candidacy is the first nomination candidacy in the council as a female member. Having said that, I cannot take gender as the priority, because others have become member doing the same hard work and taking the same passion as I did. So yes, gender, it is history in the making as a female member, but we should not actually, for me, we should not prioritize it. I am equally capable and equally, straightforward and unbiased in my nature while filing the candidacy. If I talk something about the background of my candidacy, actually I have been into many committees of ICANN during my this tenure of around 11 years of my ICANN membership. I have worked as a member for editorial committee and women leadership committee for 2 tenures, and professional ethics committee. I have also acted as an evaluator for SAFA and BPA evaluations. I have worked as a resource person for GMCS classes, a panelist for latest 3rd National Convention for Accounting Professionals. So having worked in ICANN in the base route, I came to know that there are some places for improvement, and which cannot be done as an individual member. But we need a team, and that motivated me to file the candidacy, that I can give some time to my profession, I can do something for it, and I can motivate the new future generation, come in the front, work for the profession, and contribute their knowledge.
So you have been, working with the institute for quite a long time in different roles. And when you were there, because you were also in the ethics committee, you were in the management and communication skills training that young chartered accountants are provided. In other regulatory committees, best presented financial statements were awarded. So you have been continuously working for the institute, for the profession, and while working there, you have come through problems, issues that you have identified. But because you are in a position where you couldn't not, influence too much, now you want to be in a position where your voice or your learnings, your experience that you have felt in the accounting profession could be heard, and you could have more positive impact in the community, in the accounting profession. So that is quite an achievement. But also you said that as much experienced, as much hardworking as any other male members. And there is no two ways about it, right? But the female members that came before you were also as much capable as any other men. But for 27 years, this has not been recognized. So maybe it is time that gender should also play a role.
Yes.
Because when you are choosing between two options, when you are choosing between two projects, you look at the NPVs are same. Now you'll have to also see the X factor. Yes. And I think this is a great chance for the community, the accounting community or the chartered accountants to show that we respect women and we believe that they can help us be better, the accounting community to be better. All right. So I wish very best of luck for you for your elections, and I'm hopeful that you will be elected in this next council elections. Thank you very much for being here today and giving inspirations to everyone, for other females to come forward. Every three of you, like you are an inspiration to her. She is an inspiration to her, and so there's this a thread and that can bind people when you do good things. And so I thank you, every one of you, for coming in here, sharing your stories, and also doing paving ways for future generations to come. But before we go, maybe there's something you'd like other female members or other CA aspirants, other farm owners, other members who want to be farm owners, you might want to say something to them. So if you'd like, then you might say something to these aspirants.
I want to tell the new members, especially the new members, that there is a lot of opportunity in our country. Right. So please don't see better opportunities in other countries. Right. Give some time to your profession. Obviously, better times will come. Give time. As I said, when I came in the industry, I took a shift. Yeah. I also went through harder times, but I did not leave my passion. So at least give some time. Whatever you are thinking, come into the profession. Right. And give time to your life. Don't take any decision in a haphazard way. There is a lot of scope in our country. We can materialize it together. Right. And if you guys are facing any problems, to the extent we can help, we will always be there, either as a mentor or as a counselor, because I am always available if anyone is trying to connect to me. So I don't think that we are lacking any scope. It's just, our profession is all about PR and connections. So if we talk about or if we share our problems to another people in the same community or industry, some, help or some kind of, solution is surely going to come. Right. So let's speak up, let's get together and get attached and connected to each other.
Thank you very much for your kind words and inspirational words to all the other members. Sanjeeta ji, would you like to say something?
Yes, I just would like to tell that don't be so much serious, don't overthink before starting anything. Even if you want to go to practice or job, you don't need to think too much. There is, you are just one decision away from shifting. So as Sweety ji said that she is always available for counseling, we are also always available, and we as ACAN, we are also starting a career counseling program for the new members. Yeah. Because as a new member, when we come, we are too much overwhelmed. Yeah. We don't know which path to choose. All our friends are starting practice and we go with them. All of them are going to bank and we go with the flow. So if there are, some seniors who are in the related fields, who can suggest them, we can tell them not only the benefits but also the disadvantage of being into practice, or disadvantage or negative aspects of being into jobs. then I believe that that will help them in decision making. So I just want to suggest them, don't be too much serious with life. Even if you become failure in one issues, I mean to say, if you could not continue your job, or after starting job you want to switch to practice, there is always an option. Or even if you started your practice and you could not do well, you don't need to worry about the society or your family, because it's your life. So if you are facing any difficulties in practice and you do not have you do not want to continue it any longer, you can just leave everything and you can switch to jobs or any better place which you think is good for you. So this is my suggestions to anyone, male, female, every younger generations.
Wise words indeed. Ashaji, any wise words that you would like to impart to the other upcoming generation or the CA aspirants, those who want to start their own practice?
Like Sweety and Sanjeeta told, I just want to tell to coming generation or the coming aspirants that just give time to your profession and try to motivate yourself rather than getting motivation from others. Follow your dreams and choose your path wisely. Don't get rushed into any decision. Decisions are your, and you just need to follow that. I believe following your path is far better than anything else.
We have reached the end of our conversation here. It was an excellent conversation. It was quite hot today. The conversation, I think, cooled us down a bit.
Yes.
So thank you, everyone, for your appearance here, for your conversations. And I hope that you can become inspiration to many other ladies who want to come into the profession, do their own practice, and bring the profession forward and achieve their dreams. And they are not, dissuaded by society that a female cannot run their own practice. But we have examples here, and I think they will take those examples and move forward with their dreams. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for having us.